The Hawker Hurricane, often overshadowed by the Spitfire, was the true backbone of Britain's air defenses during World War II. It was this sturdy, reliable aircraft that bore the brunt of the Luftwaffe's attacks during the Battle of Britain in 1940, accounting for an astonishing 60% of enemy losses. But the Hurricane was more than just a fighter. It was a versatile warrior that served in all major theaters of the war, adapting to roles ranging from bomber interception to ground support. The origins of the Hurricane trace back to the early 1930s, when aircraft designer Sir Sidney Cam envisioned a modern monoplane fighter to replace the aging biplanes of the Royal Air Force. Despite initial reluctance from the Air Ministry, who favored traditional biplanes due to their proven reliability and familiarity, Cam pressed forward with his design. By incorporating cutting-edge features such as retractable landing gear and the powerful Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, he created an aircraft that was ahead of its time. The first prototype took to the skies in 1935, and by December 1937, the Hurricane had entered squadron service. When war broke out in September 1939, the Royal Air Force had 18 squadrons equipped with Hurricanes, making it a crucial component of Britain's defensive strategy. The Hurricane's construction was relatively straightforward, using conventional methods that made it easy to repair in the field, a significant advantage during the relentless air battles of the early war years. For instance, during the Battle of Britain, ground crews were able to quickly patch up damaged Hurricanes and return them to service, ensuring that the RAF could maintain a strong defensive presence despite heavy enemy attacks. Its rugged design allowed it to withstand damage that might have grounded other aircraft, and its pilots often returned to base with their planes riddled with bullet holes, a testament to the Hurricane's durability. During the Battle of Britain, the Hurricane was tasked with intercepting German bombers, while the faster Spitfire engaged the escorting fighters. This division of labor allowed the RAF to effectively counter both the bombers and their escorts, maximizing the strengths of each aircraft. By focusing on bombers, the Hurricane helped reduce the threat to British cities, while the Spitfire kept enemy fighters at bay, ensuring the Hurricanes could carry out their mission with minimal interference. This division of labor played to the strengths of both aircraft, and it was the Hurricane that ultimately inflicted the majority of the damage on the Luftwaffe's bomber fleet. Pilots praised the Hurricane for its stable gun platform, which made it highly effective in targeting the slow-moving bombers. The aircraft's 8 Browning machine guns mounted in the wings delivered a devastating punch that proved decisive in the battle to protect Britain from invasion. The Hurricane's contributions were not limited to the skies over Britain. As the war progressed, the aircraft was adapted for a variety of roles. The Sea Hurricane, equipped with an arrestor hook, operated from aircraft carriers, providing vital air cover for convoys and naval operations. The Hurricane was also modified into a fighter bomber, capable of carrying bombs and rockets to support ground troops. In North Africa, the Hurricane's ruggedness and adaptability made it a favorite among pilots, who used it to great effect against both German and Italian forces. The Hurry Bomber variant, armed with 40mm anti-tank cannons, earned the nickname Flying Can Opener for its ability to destroy enemy armor. The Hurricane's adaptability was one of its most impressive qualities. In addition to its role in North Africa, it also played a significant part in the defense of Malta, where it helped fend off repeated Luftwaffe and Regia Aeronautica attacks. The aircraft's versatility meant that it could be deployed wherever it was needed most, whether that was providing close air support for ground forces or defending strategic locations from aerial assault. This adaptability was a key reason why the Hurricane remained in service long after more advanced fighters had been developed. Despite its many successes, the Hurricane never quite captured the public's imagination in the same way as the Spitfire. Its design, with a thicker wing profile and a less streamlined appearance, was seen as less elegant than that of its more famous counterpart. However, those who flew the Hurricane knew its true value. It was a workhorse, a dependable, resilient aircraft that could be counted on in the most challenging conditions. It was this reliability that made the Hurricane indispensable during the critical early years of the war. Production of the Hurricane continued until 1944, with over 14,000 units built in Britain and Canada. The aircraft served in nearly every theater of World War II, from the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of Burma. In the Soviet Union, Hurricanes provided crucial support to the Red Army, though they were often outclassed by more advanced German fighters. Nevertheless, Soviet pilots appreciated the Hurricane's sturdiness and ability to absorb damage, qualities that made it well suited to the harsh conditions of the Eastern Front. One of the lesser-known roles of the Hurricane was as a night fighter and intruder. During the Blitz, Hurricanes patrolled the night skies over Britain, intercepting German bombers on their way to target British cities. Later in the war, they were used for intruder missions, flying over enemy airfields in occupied Europe to catch German bombers as they took off or landed. These missions were dangerous, requiring great skill and bravery from the pilots, but they were crucial in disrupting the Luftwaffe's operations. The Hurricane's legacy is one of quiet heroism. As Flight Lieutenant Ian Gleed once said, "The Hurricane was the aircraft that gave me the confidence to take on the enemy, no matter the odds." Such anecdotes from pilots highlight the deep trust they had in this resilient aircraft, which played a crucial role in countless battles. While the Spitfire became a symbol of British defiance, the Hurricane was the aircraft that did the heavy lifting. It was the plane that young pilots learned to fly in, the plane that took the fight to the enemy day after day, and the plane that many of those pilots credited with saving their lives. Its contribution to the Allied victory in World War II cannot be overstated. As the war drew to a close, the Hurricane was gradually phased out in favor of more advanced aircraft. However, its impact on the outcome of the war was undeniable. The Hurricane had proven itself in every role asked of it, from dogfighting over the English Channel to strafing enemy tanks in the deserts of North Africa. It was a testament to the ingenuity of its designer, the skill of its pilots, and the determination of those who kept it flying. Today, only a handful of Hurricanes remain airworthy, preserved by enthusiasts and museums dedicated to keeping the memory of this remarkable aircraft alive. These surviving Hurricanes serve as a reminder of the vital role the aircraft played in securing victory during World War II. They stand as a tribute not only to the pilots who flew them, but also to the ground crews who worked tirelessly to keep them in the air, often under the most challenging conditions. The story of the Hawker Hurricane is one of resilience, adaptability, and quiet heroism. It may not have the sleek lines of the Spitfire or the same level of public recognition, but its contributions were every bit as significant. Without the Hurricane, the outcome of the Battle of Britain, and perhaps the entire war, might have been very different. It was the plane that stood between Britain and invasion, the plane that turned the tide when all seemed lost, and the plane that helped pave the way for ultimate victory.